think I was maybe 6 years old. I used to go out to the golf course with my father, and then after a while he cut a club down, and so I started hitting a few balls, and I maybe played my first round of golf when I was 8. You know, at that age I loved all the sports, but golf was the only one that I really got to spend time with my dad and play with my dad, and then I found out after a little while I was pretty good.
Crooks was so good that he won the USGA Junior Amateur and played his college golf at the University of Houston.
After Houston was that shortly thereafter I got married, and then shortly thereafter we bought a house, and then we started having children, and my daughter was born, and you know, I kind of went into the real world. And kind of just spent about 4 years, didn't do anything with golf. And then one day I just picked up a club and started messing around, and it came back pretty quickly. And so I started playing competitively again as an amateur. And you know, 3 or 4 months later, then I'm playing in the biggest amateur events in the country. And so that's kind of how it started back up.
Crooks' competitive fires were stoked once more, but his Hall of Fame coaching career may not have burned bright if it wasn't for his wife enrolling in Campbell Law School in 1984. Crooks spent a lot of his time right here at Keith Hills Country Club, where he met and became friendly with the Campbell golf team and athletics director Wendell Carr.
He kind of encouraged me to spend some time with him, so I did. And you know, today I know that's called a volunteer assistant coach, but then it was just, I was spending some time with him during the week and helping him a little. And then in 1990 he asked me if I would coach, and so that's how I got here.
Crooks took over a men's team that was already competitive. The women's team was a different story.
The weekend before our first tournament, I was at Marshbanks in the cafeteria with my wife, and as young ladies walked through the serving line, I asked them if they played golf, and I found a young lady that did, and so I offered her a free expense-paid trip to Stanton, Virginia to play in a golf tournament. That's how we got started.
Crooks quickly turned the team around and has now led the Campbell women to 69 tournament wins, the second most of any active coach and fourth most of any women's coach in NCAA Division I history.
What do you like best about coaching?
Being in the van after a win. It's just I can't explain to you what it's like. But you know, you ask people to do their best, and sometimes they have to sacrifice sometimes to do that. And then all of a sudden they realize that all this effort that they've put into it is worth it. And then they can kind of laugh and smile, and you can just physically see their confidence rise. And so being in the van, and when that's happening, of course, there's a lot of laughing and joking and giggling and talking about the next win, and you know, that would be one of the major reasons I coach.
So what is the secret to Crooks' coaching success?
You know, there's just no crystal ball. I mean, I don't do anything differently. I try to keep their minds focused on golf and their academics. And in this day and age, they have many distractions, but we just try to bring it down and keep it as simple as we can. Do well in school, do well on the golf course, and graduate.
In 22 years, Crooks has been named Conference Coach of the Year 15 times, had 126 all-conference selections, 178 all-academic selections, and 15 Conference Players of the Year, while leading men's and women's golf to a total of 114 tournament wins.
What it means is that Campbell University is a major player as far as golf in the country, and it also means I'm old.